Robbie Williams Rewind.
Welcome to Robbie Williams Rewind. We are the champions. I'm Matt.
And I'm Lucy.
And along with help from special guest fans, we take you on an in-depth rewind through the solo career of multi-award-winning singer, songwriter and entertainer, Robbie Williams.
Today we're talking about Swings Both Ways, Robbie's second swing album, released after the outstanding success of his first. And we have our special guest with us today, Zoe from Stoke-on-Trent.
Hi, Zoe.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. I'm really pleased to have you on.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us, how did you become a Robbie fan?
I remember many years ago now. I was at college and one of the girls came in and she said, there's this new boy band. They're going to be in HMV in Hanley. Should we all go up there at dinner time and see if we can get their autographs? So I was like, yeah, tagged along, and it was Take That, and got their autographs, and it sort of started from there, and joining in the music, and I was 16, teenager then, so I wasn't allowed to go do the concert stuff and things like that, but the music, and you had the posters on the wall still at age of 16, and Robbie was the one that I loved at that point in time.
Was that because he was from Stoke, or were you just genuinely just?
No, I think it was genuinely just because he was Robbie, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that must have been about 1991 or 92 or something.
91, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, giving my age away there.
Sorry.
Don't worry.
Well, I just remember because I didn't go to any of those signings, so I knew it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, exactly. Followed them, and when they broke up, it was like, Robbie left, and sort of. I obviously grew up as well, got married, had a child. Robbie went solo, and really, I listened to the music, but I didn't have the chance to do all of the tours, and I wish I could turn back time and go to those gigs that he did, at the beginning of his solo tour. That would just have been amazing.
Oh, So when was the first time you saw him?
I'm pretty sure the first time I saw him live was at Nebworth. I'd loved him all my life.
Yeah.
And then,
well, apart from meeting him in Hanley,
the
first time you saw him in concert.
Yeah, so Nebworth was my first actual Robbie gig. I never went to any Take That gigs or anything like that. Like I say, circumstances really. Again, I wish I could turn back time, do all of that, but I think I've made up for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, I think we know you've made up for it.
Yeah.
But what a gig to start with, Nebworth.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
Were you near the front?
No, I went. I really wanted to go, and I was seeing a guy at the time, and it was his birthday, and I was like, I brought you a birthday present, 2 tickets to see Robbie at Nebworth. Yeah. And so I wanted to go really early, and he was like, no, we'll get up at sort of 5 and we'll leave then. So we got in. I got on the barrier of the outer, but I was so upset that I didn't get in the the inside bit, and I think that sort of was my goal for many times. Yeah.
So do you have like a favourite song or album?
Oh, there's so many good ones. It's really hard to pick. I have a few favourites. I love Grace. I love. I just like. I love Handsome Man. I actually really like Rudebox. I don't know if
the song or the album.
No, the album. And there's songs of Rudebox like the 80s and 90s, like the 80s, amazing. when he did that at the Under the Radar gig, I was, oh my God, I was just so ecstatic because it is one of my favourites. But yeah, more of the off the cuff, not necessarily the B-sides, but the more sort of album tracks rather than the, the stuff for the general public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you've I know you've seen him in concert a lot now. Do you have a favourite show that you went to?
Are we talking about shows or are we talking about rehearsal shows?
Anything.
Any live show.
I would say I've got a favourite for obvious reasons, which was the rehearsal show for the European tour, because
So Let Me Entertain You tour.
He did just Europe,
That's it.
and that's my favourite because he took me up on stage and sang to me. So how can it not be your favourite sort of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
But I've had some, tour wise, the Take the Crown tour and the Swing Both Ways tour were probably my favourite two tours. I went to a lot of shows, I went to a lot of places, I saw a lot of people, and I think probably similarly for you, it's not just about going to see Robbie, it's about the people you see, the friends that you make, the relationships that you form, and those two tours, I met so many people and people who I am still friends with now, and I wouldn't change that for the world. So Swings Both Ways was again fun. I know that you were there when he sang Happy Birthday to me. That was just amazing. And I think because obviously from being from Stoke, I've been lucky, and he sort of pointed me out during sort of a lot of songs, especially like Minnie the Moocher, I'm the Okie Dokie Stokie. Got that quite a lot. He did that both on Swing Both Ways and Take the Crown. So so there's always special times as well where those sort of things happen, and people say, how can you go to so many shows? It's boring. It must be boring. It's the same. It's never the same. It's different every time. And I'm sure you know that. Nothing is ever the same. So
Nope.
So I didn't answer your question, but in a nutshell, those are my favourite gigs.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
And what about a favourite video?
I quite like Candy. I think it's the knight in shining armour, that sort of thing. I'm trying to think. I know that one of my not so favourites, which other people go, is Rock DJ. I'm not especially enamoured by the gory bits in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It makes me laugh, that video, more than anything.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head the videos, and when your mind goes blank, it is blank.
Yeah, that's all right.
You mean you don't watch 3 or 4 Robbie videos every day?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I was wondering, as a Stokie, can you tell us what the kind of general feeling in Stoke is towards Robbie? Do people generally like it, or do most people kind of just a bit jealous?
There is a lot of jealousy. I call it the Stokie mentality. People probably shoot me now, but you just can't be happy for somebody who does well for themselves. So you if you look at the local paper, their sort of website and information that's been shared, there's so many negativities, and it's such a shame because people say, oh, all he's done, he's not a Stokie anymore. He left. He's gone to live in America. He doesn't care about us, but he really doesn't actually. By doing the Port Vale gig, he's shown us that he does care. He's given his time for the local charities to benefit from that. And this isn't the first time he's done that. He does so much stuff that's not spoken about. We all know that what he does as Robbie fans, but the locals don't necessarily, take an interest in that, and therefore don't see, what it is that he's doing. I mean, saying that, there are people, people I work with who are really excited about him coming to town. It's not all negative, that there are people who are, really, really looking forward. It's a big, big thing. It's really big. Port Vale. I can't remember. I think they might have done some concerts back years and years and years ago.
The 80s, I think.
Yeah. I might be wrong. I don't know if it's Motorhead or is it because Lemmy's from Stoke.
I think it was Motorhead.
Yeah.
I think it was Motorhead.
Yeah, because Lemmy's from Stoke as well. So, but that's how long it is since there's been a gig at Vale Park. It's big. It's a big, big thing.
Yeah.
And coinciding with the same week as the Queen's Jubilee.
Yeah,
as well. So
I know.
Makes it extra big.
I've had that date in my diary for a long time because I like to book off all of the bank holidays at work. So as soon as they announced the 4th of June last year, I was like, that's Jubilee week. I bet they don't even realise. Yeah, we'll celebrate in our own way, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we will. Maybe we'll have tea on the pavement.
Yeah, some jam and scones. Or scones, depends what you call them.
I'm not sure he's going to sing the Queen, but, we'll see.
Yeah. Might have a repetition of God Save the Queen.
Oh, yeah.
I reckon that might be on the cards.
Yeah.
Better bring our Union Jacks.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, yeah.
So have you got like a favourite memory or moment with Robbie? I know you went up on stage with him.
Yeah.
Is that your favourite moment?
I would say that's definitely my favourite. I was really, I was not expected at all. And we all know that he takes people up on stage, but this was a rehearsal show, and I really didn't expect it. I remember going. There was only 7.
You won the competition.
Yeah, there was 7 winners off his fan site, and you could take +1. So I took Karen with me, and we had to go and meet at a hotel. It was very hush hush where we were going, so we were meeting at a hotel. They came, they took our phones and cameras off of us. So there was no phones, no cameras.
Wow.
In Carrie's words, no phones, no cameras, no nothing. You're just here to enjoy what happens. It was like, fair enough. When we got there, there was like, the room was full of people. And I was a bit gutted because I thought there was going to be the 14 of us dancing around in front of Robbie. And Carrie's giving us the rules. So I'm like, yeah, come on, can we just go? So when he let us go, we went, and there was a gap on the barrier. So I was like, anybody stood here? And they weren't. So the people were talking to us, and they that were around us, and they were friends and family of the band and the production, and had been invited. And so we were telling them about going to see Robbie and what we do. And then he was going through his the songs and that, and he sang Road to Mandalay, which I do absolutely love. And at the end of it, he looked down at me, and I gave him a thumbs up, and his eyes met mine. And then he was like, Gary, one of you get Stokie. And I was like, oh. So as you do at concerts, you'd usually pulled over the barrier. So I'm like ready to hoik over the barrier.
Yeah.
And he's like,
did they not
just go that way?
Well, because it was so small.
Yeah. So I walked
You're halfway over.
Yeah. And I said to Carrie, sort of led me, and I goes to him, I've got no phone. Or he's like, no, just enjoy it. So he took me around the runway, and the end of the runway was pointing towards a wall because it was in a warehouse that we went to. So it was pointed to the walls, and he's like, this is no good. So he's like, come on, let's turn the chairs around. So we turned the chairs around. So I sat there, and I was sort of quaking a bit, as you do. And he sang No Regrets to me. So sort of, did a bit of swaying, and then he got up and we did a bit of dancing, and I was like, everybody else has squeezed his bum, so had a little squeeze of the bum as you do. And at the end of it, we walked back down the runway, and he sort of gave me a hug, and I said, thank you very much. And I went back to Karen, and he goes, well, that was shit, wasn't it? And it's like, I don't mean you. He's like, but it's not really the sort of song you take a girl up on stage and sing to. So that was scrapped. So, but during that rehearsal, he did take Ida up on stage to do the Candy Bed thing.
Oh, okay.
So it was during that tour he did. Yeah, it was because he did. And then Karen said, there's a man over there, one of his people are videoing this. So for a month, I kept emailing his management team, please, can I have the video, please? Or can I at least have some photographs, please?
Yeah.
So I did end up with a video of sorts with the actual song No Regrets over it. So it wasn't live version of what happened to it. Was live, No Regrets played over it, and it was sort of bits of us in slow motion. But I'll take it. Yeah. Didn't
they give you like one photo as well? Or
no, they gave me the video of which I took screenshots from. So it was about a 1.5 minute, probably less, video, but it's treasured forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say yes, that's my favourite memory. How could it not be?
Exactly.
Yeah, sounds great. Private gig with Robbie.
I know.
Very nice.
It's nice that he took obviously a fan up and did that during the rehearsal as well.
Yeah.
I suppose a unique experience.
Yes.
Nobody else got that, so hey ho.
No. Yeah. So if you could ask him one question or say one thing to him, what would it be?
There's always been one question I've asked him. All the times in the chat, literally begged him, please come to Stoke and do a gig. Please do a gig at Port Vale. So he's answered my question. I remember the day when it was announced. I was working late in the office. I was on my own, and it came up on my phone, and I literally did a happy dance around the office. Nobody was there to see me, but I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, I've been asking this for so many years and my dreams come true. So it really has.
Oh, lovely. Hopefully it's going to live up to everything.
Yeah, that's my, well, I'm saying my dreams come true, touch wood.
Obviously this will air after the concert.
I know,
as well, so
yeah, it will, yeah.
We'll know by the time this airs how good it was.
Yes.
And we eventually get there after it was changed a few times, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. So what does Robbie mean to you?
For me, everybody thinks I'm in love with Robbie. I love him, and I want to marry him and all these things, but it's not like that for me. I do love Robbie, but like I'd love to have him as my best mate, sort of thing. And so, when times are tough and times are hard, there's always a song, to listen to, and it's like your mates talking to you, sort of thing. And that's sort of, that's what he means to me. It's everybody has tough bits in their life, and it's nice to know that your mate's there to have a little wail to when you need to, or and not just when life's tough, when there's good times, that you can stand and dance around your living room to one of his songs, and and for now, with all of the concerts that I've been to as well, it's instant memories, memories of this happening, this person, that person. He's brought me so many friends that, I couldn't ask for anything more, really. I've got so many good friends, people that I've seen outside of Robbie stuff, that that I wouldn't change for the world. You know, I love them to bits. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's nice.
Cool.
So should we talk about the album Swings Both Ways?
Yeah.
So, Swings Both Ways was released on the 18th of November 2013, almost 12 years to the day after Swing When You're Winning was released. It went straight to number 1 in the UK, earning the title of the UK's 1000th ever number 1 album. Frank Sinatra's Songs for Swinging Lovers was the first. Swings Both Ways dropped to number 3 the following week when One Direction and Gary Barlow released their new albums. However, a week later, Robbie overtook Gary to be number 2. Then, another week on, Swings Both Ways crept back to number 1, where it remained for 3 weeks, including being Christmas number 1. So, Robbie did well to beat One Direction.
Yeah, that's quite an achievement.
I think that might have been their first album. Yeah.
Probably. When Rob had realised he and Gary would be releasing albums around the same time, he had suggested they release on the same day to create a chart battle, much like Oasis versus Blur in the 90s. Rob had thought it would be a laugh, but Gary told him he'd do anything for that not to happen, as it would bring back too much of the past for him. In the end, Rob sold 109,000 copies in his first week, while Gary sold 116,000 a week later. However, as Swings Both Ways returned to number 1, Rob did outsell Gary in the long run. There you go. Swings Both Ways was the 4th best-selling album of 2013 in the UK, selling 626,000 copies. It's now sold 750,000 copies and was the 85th best-selling album of the decade, 2010 to 2019, going 2 times platinum.
Swings Both Ways was also number 1 in Austria, Croatia, Germany and Switzerland, number 2 in Australia, Denmark, Netherlands and Ireland, number 4 in Belgium and number 5 in the Czech Republic, Hungary, Sweden and Italy. The International Federation of the Phonographic Industry stated, Swings Both Ways was the 18th global best-selling album of 2013. It was the 2nd best-selling album of the year in Germany and the 3rd in Austria.
The album signalled the return of Rob and Guy Chambers writing together again. It was also produced by Guy. Rob said, "He's like my soul brother, and I always knew that we'd work together again. It's been seamless. I think the chemistry is still intact, and I think we've come up with some good tunes." Guy told the Daily Telegraph, "It never felt like the end. I stayed at his house with my family in 2008, and we did try to write then, but it just didn't work. But I always hoped we would write together again. I thought, be patient, and when he asked me, I was ready. I was so pleased that he wanted to do the swing record. His voice has matured, and he sings these songs better than he ever did."
Rob was already planning the second Swing album while recording Reality Killed the Video Star in 2009. He'd even considered doing a German language version of Mac the Knife, but this was aborted. Unlike the first Swing album, Swings Both Ways had an equal number of covers and original songs. Rob explained, "First of all, I wanted to do a Swing album because I wanted to do a Swing album. I always knew I'd do another, and I think now is the perfect time to do it. The album, this time, is a definite ode and a loving glance towards a period on the planet that I was never invited to because I wasn't there. The plan was to do another covers album like Swing When You're Winning, but then songs have appeared, and there's also been songs that I've just been waiting to give a home to. I've got a lot of songs because I'm so schizophrenic musically, and sometimes they just can't fit on one album, so I needed a place for them to go. I was worried for a bit, but I think these songs stand up next to these standards, and that's a pretty cool accomplishment."
He joked to Graham Norton on BBC Radio 2 that the Swing records were like his showbiz pension. Q Magazine's review stated, "Robbie's new album is a bold, playful set of swing tunes. Some are covers and some are new tracks, including Snowblind, one of the best songs of his career." While The Observer gave it 2 stars, saying, "Most stars are a volatile mix of egomania and neurosis in varying proportion, but over 20-odd years, Williams has been a particularly rich source of bravado tempered by quirk and angst. The closing operetta, No One Likes a Fat Pop Star, finds Williams dieting yet twinkling with lightness, which when artfully deployed is this album's strongest hit. It's not rock and roll, there is whistling, but then it's not the worst thing on here. That's the ballad Snowblind. Go Gentle certainly holds its ground against Jay-Z's Blue, Daddy Dearest. The most entertaining duet by some distance, though, comes courtesy of Rufus Wainwright and the title track, in which every single camp referent imaginable, closets, Khyber passes, fruitcakes, is nudged and winked at. It sounds successfully as though it has been mislaid from a musical.
It's kind of weird, isn't
It's a strange review. They gave it 2 stars.
Yeah, I know.
And,
Yeah.
weird.
And also, I found it funny that The Observer hated Snowblind, and then Q Magazine said it was one of the best songs of his career.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Odd.
So The Guardian gave it 3 stars, writing, "Some of the covers are too well worn. Minnie the Moocher and Putting on the Ritz. But Snowblind's admission of vulnerability is rather moving, and the recent Father's Go Gentle, complete with one of pop's great whistled middle eights, may be the most touching declaration of parental love responsibility since David Bowie's Kooks." The Independent said, "Swings Both Ways is a distinct improvement on Robbie Williams' Swing When You're Winning, and for the best reason. It's the original tracks that bring a new life to the form, while the standards, routine duets of I Wanna Be Like You and Dream a Little Dream with Ollie Murs and Lily Allen, and a bland Putting on the Ritz, sound like filler. Snowblind is another thoughtful, sensitive piece graced with an interesting arrangement." Awards Rob won during this time were Q Idol from Q Magazine, Heart FM's Live Artist of the Year, Best Entertainment Award at the Bambies, Best International Rock Pop at the Echo Awards, and he was even given the freedom of the city of Stoke-on-Trent with a tourist trail to mark his 40th birthday in 2014.
Yeah.
What did you think of that, Zoe?
It was great. I actually got to go to the opening of the tourist trail.
Oh,
Yeah,
brilliant.
So Papa Pete was there.
See-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Were you invited? Or?
I was invited. Yeah, I was. I think it was in Tunstall at the Floral Hall. I was like, oh, okay, and then I was asked to, because the local paper was there as well, so I was asked to go and take a picture next to the plaque. And then once I'd done that, I'd never actually really had spoken to Pete before that, and he came over to me and he said, "Hi Zoe, are you okay?" And I was like, wow, he knows my name.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
I'd say ever since then he's always said hello to me. So yeah, but it was really special though. Obviously done the tourist trail a few times. So yeah, I have gone around the tourist trail a few times. So
taking different people
yeah,
who've come to visit around it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I've done my own little drive around, as you do.
Yeah. Yeah, we went once. We took the kids with us. They were
delighted to
Yeah.
go
I
on
bet they were.
with us. We really enjoyed it. We enjoyed our little... We were sort of driving and walking, weren't we? We sort of drive to a place and have a walk around and then go to another place. They were a bit younger, weren't they, then when we did it?
Yeah, they weren't so complaining as they are now because they weren't teenagers.
Yeah.
The Red Lion was my go-to pub in my youth. It was the pub that I had my first legal drink in.
Was it near you then? Do you live near there?
It was near where I used to live. I used to live in
Yeah.
a place called Middleport, which was at the bottom of the road of Burslem. So it was a good night. Was a night around Burslem.
Oh.
Not anymore.
So, what were our overall thoughts of, the announcement that it was going to be a swing album again? What did you think, Matt?
I'm sure it must have been very fulfilling and extremely exciting for Rob to unleash his inner swing and bring that new swing album, the new swing tracks, as well as the covers, to the world. I mean, that's quite special for him, I think. And I think it was super well done, and it's got the usual trademark Robbie humour in it as well, obviously, that most people don't put with swing, to be quite honest. So you achieved quite a new thing there, I think. And I think it's quite faithful to the old swing style, and it's got that modern twist in places. So I thought it was quite clever.
Yeah.
Really.
What about you, Zoe?
So when I heard he was doing a swing album, I wasn't impressed. This is going to be awful. But actually, sorry, Rob. Actually,
no.
It's a good album. There's a lot of good stuff on it, and there's a lot, as you say, a lot of humour in there. The swings both ways. The where there's brass. So there's some good stuff in there as and the ones that are sort of remakes of old classics, I think they're actually done quite well. So and there's not too many of them in the album.
Yeah. Oh, so that was just your initial impression?
That was my initial impression. Yeah. Oh, it's not my impression now.
It improved.
Otherwise, I'd be like, oh, well, yeah. So
I'm glad that we've got you on the right episode.
Yeah. So there are songs in here which are fantastic, but I just remember that when the announcement was swing, I was like, oh no. And I remember the Shine My Shoes and waiting for that to drop, sort of the midnight when it dropped, and realising that actually it was going to be a very different kind of album when it was released.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing before we go to you, Lucy, I would say is that Swing When You're Winning episode of our podcast is the most listened to episode out of the, how many have we done now? About 18, 19.
Yeah.
So let's see how this one does. Obviously there's a huge appetite out there to hear about the Swing album.
There's a lot.
And maybe this one as well. Yeah,
a lot of Robbie fans I know who love Swings Both Ways, who will probably string me up for saying that I don't like it.
No, all opinions are valid on the podcast.
Absolutely.
So what did you think about it, Liz?
Yeah, I was a bit like you, Zoe. I kind of thought, I don't really want another Swing album. Although he's amazing at doing it, I like his rockier, poppier music better, and Rude Box. I'd rather have another Rude Box, but when it came, I just loved it. Yeah, it's just the lyrics are they're heartfelt and funny that you just really enjoy listening to it. And as you say, the covers that they did were really well done. So I did end up loving it, and it all was good. And especially as we got a tour with it, that really brought the album to life.
The tour was great.
Yeah. We'll come to the tour.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So the first song was Shine My Shoes, written by Rob, Guy and Chris Heath. This was the third single to be released from the album on the 24th of March 2014. A vinyl 7-inch single was even released on RobbieWilliams.com, with 100 copies signed by Robbie, randomly sent out to those who ordered. Although it actually charted at number 89 in November 2013 when it was released as a digital download ahead of the album release. It was the third song he and Guy wrote together for the album, with Rob commenting, "It's a license to be a cock, this song, isn't it?" when writing it.
Rob explained it's in the spirit of a Sammy Davis Jr. song. In the biopic, The Rat Pack, there's a dream sequence where Sammy Davis Jr. is dancing against the racists. I'm singing against the haters and the naysayers, giving them my time in the form of a swing song detailing exactly why they should hate me. The smugness will infuriate the haters, and the people who kind of like me will just think that it's sweet.
He also said, "It's aimed at anybody that leaves disparaging comments underneath YouTube videos of me or newspaper articles, because I'm an oversensitive celebrity or human. Those words have had great power and have unfortunately impacted my life in detrimental ways. So I've written a song to combat them, and I am sticking 2 fingers up at them and going, I hear you, now shine my shoes."
Renowned for Sound music website said, Shine My Shoes has given us the Robbie Williams we gotten to know and love with empowering vocal and cheeky lyrics. He is definitely one of the world's musical treasures, and we're sure he still has some oomph in him yet. The video showed highlights from his London Palladium show.
So, what do we think of Shine My Shoes?
Zoe, do you want to go first?
Yeah, can do. I actually like it. I like the lyrics in it. Like you say, it's a big finger up to a number of people. I'm sure that we, during that tour, might have used that term to a number of people ourselves. Yeah. And I think it's a good opening track as well. It sort of sets the scene of this album, really. That although it's swing, it's a bit tongue in cheek. It's not going to be the generic swings both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Matt?
Well, I mean, I think we said it in the description, but I was reflecting on it. I was thinking, I guess it is a song about being a celeb pop star and being disliked by someone, or maybe the press and the media. I guess haters in general, all of them. And like Zoe said, I think it's the right song to kick off the album. It's a really rousing song.
Yeah.
In the classic Robbie, but in the swing style. So he's got the combination of both things going on there. And I love the line, the way you don't love me kind of makes you look ugly, every word you say.
Cool. I've got something about his kind of feisty songs, because I really like Karma Killer and Ego Go Go. So this is kind of along those lines, the lyrics are feisty. I just love that he's written a song to his haters. And it's just got a great arrangement. I love the overall sound of the song, like the brass instruments. There's like trumpets at the end of each line. And the beat just makes you want to sort of jig about. And it's actually got Ida on backing vocals as well, weirdly, which you can't really tell because there's a few people on the backing vocals, I think. One of my favourite lines, and I don't care what you think you know about who I am and how it goes. I made it easy to be me, so yeah, it's easy to be me. And there's no room in my bed, but while you're here, then bow your head and you can shine my shoes. And also the really good bit, here's something that will make you sick. I'm as happy as a pig in shh.
Yeah.
It's just clever, the clever avoidance of swearing on that line. It makes me laugh. And then the very end, when he says, until I see my face.
Yeah.
I just love how he puts such passion into it when he sings it live. He really, really sings that line.
It does.
It was a good track to open the tour with, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It really was, because it got everybody sort of up and dancing and, involved in the whole, the whole essence of the show for the tour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he puts so much emotion into it, doesn't he? I mean, he does it into all his songs, but particularly you can really hear him like banging the words out.
Yeah. Yeah. He sort of came on, didn't he, with his back to the crowd and then like motion with his hands to get the crowd going. So the crowd would get all riled up before he even turned round and faced everyone. And then everyone went crazy when he turned round. Yeah, it was quite a sort of neat little opening to the tour. And also it was crazy that he and Guy wrote this song together so quickly after reuniting. They wrote this and Go Gentle on the first or second day. Just amazing. Showed their chemistry was still there.
Wow. Yeah. And it was probably, knowing Rob, it was probably a song that was waiting to be born again, that was floating about in his head.
Yeah, probably.
I need to do a song about the haters. Why not put it on the swing album?
Yeah. So should we go on to Go Gentle?
Yeah. So written by Rob, Guy and Chris Heath, this was the first single released on the 11th of November 2013. It hit number 10 in the UK, 5 in Italy and Lebanon, 12 in Slovenia, 16 in Germany and 18 in Belgium. This was the second song he and Guy wrote together for the album. Chris Heath detailed the process in Reveal. After struggling to write anything, Guy suggested a sad minor version of Candyman type song. He played a pulsing chord progression and Rob immediately sung a melody and half-form lyrics. He kept repeating some lyrics like, "You could be something," and "If we just get there," then said, "It's a song for Teddy, isn't it?"
After the first full day of writing, Rob told Chris, "I don't think I've sat with anyone at a keyboard and done that since doing that with Guy. Guy's really talented, isn't he?" Weirdly, Guy had a chest infection that day, just like he did when they wrote Angels. Rob blogged about that first day, writing, "Me and Guy worked together for the first time in many years. Funnily enough, we're a good team. What a treat. I loves him. Teddy got her first song. It's called Go Gentle. It might be called something else by the time it comes out. I sang it to her yesterday as we walked around the estate. She was in a papoose, so she was a captive audience. I think she liked it. Then she threw up. Tough room."
Rob further explained, "I see it as a Burt Bacharach kind of song. Go Gentle is a promise I'm making to my daughter. It was written when she first arrived on the planet, and I'd been a selfish pop star for most of my life. And then, all of a sudden, I'd been asked to take care of this whole person. I still am scared that I'm not up to the task. I'm doing a good job of being a dad, but it's scary. You have to look after this person for their whole of their life. I'm not very good at even looking after me. It's a song I want to live up to because it's actually the most important thing I will do on the planet while I'm here. Way more important than 4 nights at Wembley and 3 nights at Nebworth."
The verses are full of warning for Teddy. "I'm playing around with the fact that she might meet somebody like me when she's 16 to 36, whenever, and what she should do if she does." Guy told the Daily Telegraph, "It still gives me goosebumps when I hear it. You don't often hear men talking like that in songs. Rob's very good at writing new types of songs about love that aren't conventional. I love you songs. Go Gentle is very touching. The first time he sang it live for Radio 4's master tapes, he just cried. He was in pieces at the end." So what do we think of Go Gentle, Matt?
Well, it's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
It's a lovely father-to-daughter advice about life. Very, very wise advice in this song, I think. Yeah, now when you go giving your heart, make sure they deserve it. If they haven't earned it, keep searching. It's worth it. I can definitely empathise and relate to the lyrics in this song as we have an 11-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite a scary prospect, I think, letting them out into the big wide world.
Yeah.
But all you can do is give them your guidance and be there for them. And as Robbie says, I'm going to be there. So yeah, I love it from that. I can very much relate to it from that perspective. And I love the sort of bouncy feel to it. It sort of bounces along, you know? It's like a bouncy, it's just, I don't know, it's got that light bouncy sort of feel to it. I particularly like the line, "Don't waste time with the idiots. Just think that they're heroes. They will betray you. Stick with us weirdos." And there's a lovely bit of whistling just before 3 minutes in as well. You know, I like a bit of whistling.
Yeah, I do. Just on that line about don't waste time with the idiots, I think he actually says Egypts, doesn't he?
Egypts.
Yeah, the lyric sites and the booklet, CD booklet say idiots, but he definitely says Egypts.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that word.
It sounds better in the song as well. Less syllables.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that line as well. I just love the word Egypt. Zoe, what do you think?
I do love this song. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the lyrics. It's it's blunt advice for this girl growing up, and it's all true. Every single word of it. And I was actually I'm single now, and I've been looking obviously for love, as you do, and I was listening to this song recently, and I was like, it's so true what he's saying in here. It really is true. And even at the age of 40 something, I'm still, this advice is still relevant to this day. Yeah, like I say, the lyrics that you've already pointed out, perfect, absolutely perfect. I do love this song, and it's a classic, and I don't think it'll ever die.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it as well. It's definitely in my top 20 favourite Robbie songs.
Yeah.
Just brilliant. I like the line, "You're going to meet some strangers, welcome to the zoo." I feel like that's more about their life, in the public eye. She's going to meet some strangers coming up to her because she is Robbie Williams' daughter, and everyone's going to be looking at them like they're in the zoo because they're in the public eye. I feel like that's what that line's about. But then I guess it can also be about meeting weirdos in nightclubs.
Yeah.
If people even go to nightclubs to meet people anymore.
Sure they might do.
I don't know. I just love the music and like the whistling as well. It's just a perfect song. The piano, backing vocals. I like the fact that it's got the instrumental bit in it as well. I just think Guy is a genius for writing the music for this. Don't you?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I like the bit in it where he's sort of some of them are deadly, some don't let it show, but if they try and hurt you, just let your daddy know. And you just know that's sort of said with a grit and a clenched fist.
Yes. Yeah.
Mind you, they say right from what you know, right? And unfortunately, Robbie, in his early days, had a bit of a tumultuous past. So I guess, it felt appropriate for him to draw on his own wisdom.
Yes.
write the advice here.
Yeah. And then one of the best lines in the song, "Baby, be a giant, let the world be small." That's beautiful, isn't it? I think quite a few people have got that as a tattoo, haven't they? I've seen a lot of people posting that on Facebook Robbie groups.
Yeah.
And most of them are twisted. Few of them are clean. That makes me laugh.
Yeah. That is definitely from experience, isn't it?
Yeah. But my one wish is that he would actually play this song live more. It's like he doesn't like it anymore because he thinks it's too sappy or something. Don't you think?
I don't know. Maybe he just sort of thinks that each one needs their turn. He's obviously done Go Gentle. He's done Charlie's Song. We've got Motherfucker, which is Ace.
Yes.
And who knows, sort of on the future albums there is already one for Coco, isn't there?
Coco's Christmas Lullaby.
Yeah. So we're just missing one for Bo now. So maybe he just thinks that they all need their own, their own spotlights for their songs. Yeah. I suppose the romantic in me thinks that.
Limited time only. Yeah, you've got to enjoy it when it's there.
Yeah. And also, Guy released his own album of instrumental piano versions of a lot of the songs he's written with Robbie, and that's called Go Gentle, Into the Light.
Yes.
That's definitely worth listening to if people enjoy the instrumental side.
Very relaxing album.
Yes.
Lovely.
But I was actually thinking that this song probably actually applies to Coco as well now, even though it is a song for Teddy. I'm sure the same meaning is there for Coco.
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah.
It also applies to our daughter.
Yes.
Although she's never going out, so that won't be a problem.
Okay.
To be fair, I would say it would apply to my son as well. For anybody's children, you want them to have the best, and you want them to be protected and aware of the baddies that are out there, and you'd do anything for them as any parent, I think. And so I think he could flip that around to any one of them that he's got.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Yeah. So let's talk about the video.
Yeah, the video was directed by Mark Klasfeld, who has made over 200 music videos for people like Nelly, Jay-Z, Bon Jovi, Foo Fighters, Enrique Iglesias, Katy Perry, Destiny's Child, Backstreet Boys, Avril Lavigne, and Britney Spears.
So basically like an A-lister video director.
Oh, yes. The See You Again video that Mark directed for Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth is the second most viewed music video on YouTube at 3 billion.
I don't think I've seen it. Have you seen it?
No.
Have you seen it, Zoe?
No.
Is that even an important piece of information?
Well, I just think it's interesting.
3 billion is quite high.
Yeah, that he directed something that's got them that many hits.
Yeah.
And but I've never seen it.
No. Don't even know what it is. Go Gentle was filmed in downtown LA with Rob travelling through the streets on a boat called Theodora. Mark said, all of Robbie's music videos are so cinematic and so different. Obviously, the one that comes to mind is when he's in the roller skating rink tearing his skin off. But every video that he does is just so unexpected and different.
So what did you think of the video, Zoe?
I remember being quite excited about it and the fact that he was driving this giant boat down some boulevard somewhere in America. I can't remember where.
Is it like Suns? No, it's not Sunset.
I thought my thoughts were saying it's something like Sunset Boulevard. So it's something. It was somewhere big, and there was a lot of hype around it at that time. And it was all very exciting because there isn't always a lot of videos with his song, so it was really exciting to see this coming out and see sort of leaks of the making of it as well, which I suppose as a fan you do tend to get those snippets of things, the leaks of this, and something to look forward to.
Yeah
It must have been quite something, wasn't it, seeing a boat going down the middle of LA.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but most people don't seem to really bat an eyelid who are just walking past. They just look at it like, what's that? But they're not stopping and staring like you would if it went down the street in the UK. I think people in LA are just used to spectacles like that, aren't they?
Probably. Yeah.
But I think he looks amazing in it.
Yeah?
In the captain outfit.
Yeah. He did look good in the captain outfit.
Yeah. With I like the white streak in his hair as well. Was it white or grey? I don't know, but
didn't like that.
Yeah.
Didn't you like that?
Impressed.
I quite liked that. No. I liked it. And I mean, there were some people in the video, weren't there, that did seem to enjoy seeing Robbie, getting selfies with him and looking excited. But I wonder whether most people didn't obviously know who he was, did they? That's why they couldn't care less. It's quite nice that he goes past the Capitol building where he recorded some of the album.
Yeah.
Capitol Records. Also, I did wonder whether the people who are in it, who are just walking along the street, not really paying it much attention, they're probably not even aware that they're even in that video or what it was or where it went, because they wouldn't have known what it was for. They would never have known what to look up. So they're probably not aware that they're in that video.
That's true. I guess there's filming going on all the time in LA, different films and things. And
so they've probably never even seen it.
I mean, I doubt anybody listening to the podcast has not seen the video, but if you haven't, it's a gigantic wooden-looking boat, and they're basically driving it down the middle of LA, and then for some reason it starts with pigeons at the beginning. There's sort of pigeons wandering about and flying around.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you look at the beginning, it's weird. And as you say, there's lots of people watching from the sidewalk, kind of wondering what's going on. It's very different, and I'm not sure what it's got to actually do with the content of the song, but then again, that goes for quite a few of Robbie's videos, so I guess that's kind of normal and not out of the blue. But and I actually wondered if Ida's in the video, and maybe other people might know this, but there was a woman on the side of the street who's seen twiddling her hair, and you don't see her face, and it kind of looks like Ida from behind. It's around 2 minutes 28. If anyone wants to go and check it out. It's just my little conspiracy theory. I doubt it is, but it might be a cameo.
Yeah. Do you think he felt self-conscious doing that?
No, he probably loved it. He was probably like, yes, I'm driving a ship. Yeah.
No, because I think Robbie would have come out and I think he would have been fine.
Yeah.
And just had security around him, I'm sure. Just got on with it.
Yeah. I mean, he looked great on the boat, but my favourite bits are when he is just walking along the street. You know, I suppose it reminds me a little bit of the Verve video where that guy's walking along the street. What's his name? You know,
Richard Ashcroft.
Richard Ashcroft.
But he hasn't got a giant boat following him.
No. So, should we go on to the next song?
No. I'm sure you don't want to go on to the next song, do you?
Yeah,
Lucy?
I do, yeah.
I think there's a bit of excitement about the next one for some reason.
Maybe.
What is the next song?
I Want to Be Like You.
With?
Ollie Murs.
So, like Shine My Shoes, this charted at 78 in the UK in November 2013 when it was available to download as an individual track when the album came out. Written by brothers Richard M. Sherman and Bobby Sherman for the 1967 Disney's Jungle Book, they wrote more musical scores than any other songwriting team in the history of the silver screen, including Mary Poppins, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and the Aristocats. It was originally performed by Louis Prima as King Louis, with Phil Harris providing additional vocals as Baloo the Bear.
Rob commented, "From The Jungle Book, the first movie I went to see at the cinema at the ABC in Hanley." You been there, Zoe?
No, it's all knocked down now.
Oh. Did you go when you were younger?
No.
Oh.
I think it's now the Mitchell Theatre. They knocked it down and rebuilt it.
Anyway, he said, "I'm a big fan of Phil Harris, who originally sang it. I think he might be lost in the annals of history somewhere, but Phil Harris happened and he was amazing. People should know about him because he's cool as. I had no idea until Ollie came in to sing this with me that Ollie first auditioned for the X Factor with I Want to Be Like You, and he didn't get through. Not that long later, he's in the studio recording it with me. That's a lovely side story. Ollie's a showman, and there's not many around. He sings really well too."
Ollie said, "I absolutely loved working with Rob on this album. After touring Europe with him this year, it seemed only right that we record something together. And I Want to Be Like You is such a classic sing-along tune. It's always brilliant when you get to work with your mates." Rob said, "I wanted a big personality song for this record, and I Want to Be Like You is a big personality song. I want a big personality song because I intend to take this album on the road. I love entertaining and I love interaction with my audience, and there seems to be a dearth of mid-tempo and ballady songs in the universe, and it's hard to get songs that get people moving."
Chris Heath described how it was Ollie's idea during recording to add the new part over the instrumental break, step to the left, step to the right, which changed to swing to the left, swing to the right. While recording, Ollie asked how he was doing after many takes. Guy said, "That's good," in a tone that didn't try too hard to hide the fact he was looking for better. Rob laughed at how intimidating this was, telling Ollie, "That's his face all the time. I've had a decade and a half of that face looking at me, even when I've got it spot on. Don't worry, he doesn't know that that's what his face looks like on the outside. On the inside, he's really soft and loving." Poor Ollie. I'm sure he was loving it, really. So, shall I go first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I'm ecstatic to have Rob and Ollie on a song together because I love Ollie.
Yeah.
I think they sound really good together, and really what I'd like is for them to write a song together and sing it like a pop song that they release as a duet. That would be cool. I just love their bromance. And the song is perfect for their bromance because it is like Ollie does want to be like Robbie.
He does.
So it's great. I like their little ad-lib bits. "I'm loving life, Ollie." All those little bits. And then the very end where Ollie says, "I want to be like you, you know," and Rob says, "No, you don't, bud, serious." Just cute. I just like it.
Yeah.
It's not really a song that I would ever choose to listen to, but it's just because it's Robbie and Ollie singing it that I enjoy it, really. It's not really something you think, "Oh, I'm going to listen to the Jungle Book today," is it?
I'll put the Jungle Book soundtrack on, yeah.
But they've done a good job of it, and Yeah, it sounds good. Also, it helped that Ollie had his own album out to promote at the same time. So when he was doing promo, sometimes Robbie would join him and they'd sing it. And then sometimes when Robbie was doing promo, Ollie would join him. So they did it on Graham Norton and the Royal Variety performance together. So that's some good things to watch on YouTube if you haven't seen them.
Yeah.
And also during that time, Rob appeared in Ollie's Hand on Heart video, which was made to look like the Angels video, with the same director, Vaughan Arnell, literally filmed in the same places, the same kind of scenes. And Rob made a cameo in that. And finally, I will reminisce about when I saw Robbie sing this at the O2 on the tour, and suddenly Ollie Murs appeared. How exciting was that? Were you there that night?
Yeah,
Sarah?
I was. It was amazing. It was like,
yeah,
there was a whisper that he might turn up, but you never know. That he definitely was in the O2 arena. We knew that because people had seen him going in, but there was never any sort of yes, he's going to be on stage. He could have just gone to be in the audience. So when he turned up on that stage, it just went crazy, didn't it?
Yeah,
it was so good. And the pair of them together, they as you said, they just gel. They're like two brothers, two like cheeky guys, just together, and they just have so much fun when they sing together on stage.
Yeah, it was just great. So I've got a video of that, which I recorded at the time. It's not the whole song, but yeah, what I've got, we'll share on our social media for people to watch. But what do you think of the song?
I mean, you can't not love this song, can you? It's childhood wrapped up in one. It's the Jungle Book. It's the key song from the Jungle Book. Everybody loves this song. So it's a good song. And when Robbie sort of sang that on stage, obviously he dressed up, he had his monkey mask on, etc. He looked the part, he played the part. Brilliant live. It's great on the album, but live it was just there. Proper pleaser.
It was. Yeah. Matt?
Yeah, it's a good fun song, isn't it? They, as you both said, they just spark off each other so well. Their showmanship really works together. And when I first heard it, it felt a bit weird. It was like, oh God, why have they done a song from the Jungle Book? And I wasn't sure, but then I thought, actually, it's just fun because when you're all singing along to it live, it's just really good laugh. And then I love the jazz scat singing, the skibbity doo 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 skibby doo, bit of scat there. That's good fun. And the other thing that I found interesting is there's another song about a monkey.
Yeah.
So Robbie seems to have an affinity to monkeys. Think about Me and My Monkey from Escapology. And also maybe we're going to see a CGI monkey in the film Better Man.
Yeah.
Probably not linked at all, but, I'm making a linkage. But and I also love... Yeah, you said this one already, Lucy, but I love that last part when Ollie says, I want to be like you, and Rob says, no, you don't, bud. Serious. Just the good bits, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just classic. And I hope that they do more together. I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they will. Definitely.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So should we talk about Swing Supreme?
Yeah.
Written by Rob, Guy, Freddie Perrin and Dino Ficaris, Rob said, it's nice to have a bit of my history in here with me. Given a bit of cleaning, some new clothes on it. I'm very fond of the original record. It was an out-and-out pop song, and I'm proud and pleased to have it in my artillery. But now there's a sophistication that it didn't have before, and some gravitas. It feels more whole. It becomes a real love song. I think it's found its home.
Back in the day when I did Swing When You're Winning, Guy and my arranger, Steve Sidwell, decided that they would road test some of my songs that me and Guy had written and swing them up. Let Me Entertain You exists as a swing thing. Millennium exists as a swing thing somewhere. But the one that beats them all is Swing Supreme.
It's always been in my back pocket, and it's a pleasure to cover one of my own songs. This seems to be the actual version, and Love Supreme seems to be a cover of this version somehow. I think the song has more gravitas than before. You swing it, and for some reason it just has a Henry Mancini feel about it, and there's a glamour to it. I hope, anyway. It just seems to have big pants on now, whereas before it didn't. Not big grandma pants, long pants for tall boys.
Swing Supreme is actually Robbie's third version of the song, as he recorded the French language version too. Robbie sung it on the Let Me Entertain You tour in 2015 along with Minnie the Moocher. He introduced it at the Palladium show by saying, "I'd like to play a song for you from back when I was really famous." What do you think about it then, Zoe? Swing Supreme.
Initially, I hated it. I was so gutted because I love the Love Supreme, the original version.
Yeah.
But the more I heard it, the more I began to love it. It has just got that quite a chill vibe to it. And I think seeing him singing it live has helped to sort of grow that bit of an affinity towards it. I do like it. I think Love Supreme will always reign supreme, but like I say, I'm not a disliker of this song anymore. I do actually quite like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's beautifully arranged, and I see what he's saying. It does sort of sound like a new song, doesn't it? It's very different to the original. It almost feels like it's only the lyrics that are still the same. But yeah, I think they've done it really well. Even the bridge where it's got the "I Will Survive" sample, I just feel like it doesn't sound like "I Will Survive" anymore. I don't know why.
No.
You hear it more in the original version, and you can sort of hear that it's the bit from "I Will Survive," but it doesn't sound like it so much on this one. But yeah, amazing orchestral arrangement by Steve Sidwell. When you really listen to all the different instruments in the background, it's quite stunning, actually. And I really hope that one day we get to hear the Let Me Entertain You and Millennium swing things. It'd just be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Not that I really want them on an album, but maybe on like an Insta Live or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Matt?
Well, the start of it reminds me of one of those films where, you see an underground jazz bar, 2 a.m. in the morning. It's smoky, dimly lit, and there's Robbie crooning on a little stage in the corner. It's kind of my vision of it. It's a lovely rearrangement of the original. It's a shame that the "I Spy with My Little Eye" rap didn't survive.
Oh, yeah.
So you said all the lyrics are the same. They're not quite.
Yeah, you're right.
I spy with my little eye, something beginning with got my back up. It's not in there. And I was like, oh, damn it, like that little rap.
Yeah.
But I guess it doesn't really work with the classy sort of swing style. It would have been a bit too much, probably. I'm sure he tried to get it in there, but yeah, I think this version's great. But I'm like Zoe. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, not 100% sure. I really like the original.
I think you chose the original, your favourite song from Sing When You're Winning.
Yes, I think I did.
Yeah.
Because I said, what a classic Robbie song. Absolutely love it. I've got my notes here. Yeah. Really love the way the song tells a story. I really love the little rap bit. So when I heard the new one, it was like, But yeah, the original is definitely the best. But this one's okay.
Yeah. I also noted that when he used to sing it on tour, he'd say he was taking us back to the 90s with the next song, but this song came out in 2000.
Didn't sound as good if you said noughties, did it?
No.
He likes talking about the 80s and the 90s, let's face it.
Yeah.
In his head it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was only just into the 2000s, wasn't it? So the next song is Swings Both Ways.
Yeah, this was written by Rob, Guy and Rufus Wainwright in January 2013. This was the very first song Rob and Guy wrote together again, alongside Rufus. Rob was invited to dinner with Guy and Rufus at Chateau Marmont in LA. He'd never really spoken much to Rufus before, but was happy to leave the house to have dinner with him, which showed his respect for Rufus. Rob came up with the title and they wrote the song the next day.
Rob said, "I think I said everybody swings both ways, but then Rufus brought a lot to the table with this song. He works so quickly and he's so smart and so succinct that it's kind of scary being in a room with him. You've got to keep the pace the best you can. Guy played the piano, Rufus had a melody and an idea for the verse. I got the melody in the pre-chorus, and then just a smattering of words every now and then." Guy told the Daily Telegraph, "I had a week with Rufus on my own. I knew he had a big crush on Rob and wanted to meet him, and Rob is a big fan of Rufus and has covered one of his songs. We had dinner together and we wrote Swings Both Ways the following afternoon. I have a lot of gay friends, and a typical question is Rob a little bit, or is he actually? And I always say the same thing, which is, no, I've never seen any evidence of it. But he likes playing with the ambiguity." Guy later told Rob, "Rufus was really shocked because he said no rock star in America would do a song called Swings Both Ways. He said it just wouldn't happen."
Rob said, "According to my manager during Take That, I definitely swung both ways. And I wouldn't judge anybody for judging us back then. So for me, the start of the song was a homage to being a teenager in those clubs and being told, oh yes, everybody's gay, everybody swings both ways. I'm really proud of that song. Rufus has probably written some of the best songs of the last 15 years, and it's an honour to have him on my record." Rufus said, "Working with Robbie is a dream come true. I'm once again the envy of both sexes. Robbie is the real deal, full package, a total mensch, and if I could come up with any more paired descriptive sayings, I would use them as well." And what's a mensch, Lucy? We just looked that up, didn't we?
A mensch means
A person of
integrity and honour.
Oh, there we go.
Rob told Q magazine, "I like an innuendo, I like a pun, I like that it's controversial in a sort of vanilla way. What did sort of annoy me a little bit was not the gay rumours, but the fact that people would think I was living a lie. That was the bit that would irk me. But not that people thought I was gay. I wish I was a bit fucking gay, because back in my shagging days, I would have had 100% success. No, seriously. I don't find penises attractive or sexually desirable. I wish I did. I'd have had more fun than I did." Q told him that a few years earlier, when asked which stars were in denial about their sexuality, Rufus had said Rob. Rob said, "Oh, did he? Well, you know, back when I was very good looking, I would think and hope that most gay people would have hoped that I was gay." That's such a Rob quote, isn't it?
Yes. My two favourite songs on the album are Fat Pop Star and Swings Both Ways. I love the tongue firmly in cheekness of this song. It's old-fashioned, provocative, from an era when those postcards from the beach towns in Great Britain were available, but more provocative than they were allowed to be back in the day. I'm playing a character in the song that would help out on the gay team if they were short, and Rufus is a fully fledged member of the team. In this song, I play on their team for a while. So,
Matt, what do you think?
I think it's hilarious. It's very risque lyrics. It's a classy duet in a very comedy sort of parody style. It's funny. It's definitely one of those that's actually much better live. You need to see the interactions and the gestures and the campness on stage for it all to work. Lots of indirect drug references, innuendo, double entendres. It's got it all. It's very, very clever, actually. Super clever album title from this song as well.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Zoe?
I totally agree with what you just said about it being better live. You can definitely relate to what's happening on stage to the lyrics of the song. It is a bit bizarre, but based on what you've just said about sort of like the questioning his sexuality, etc., this is sort of a big I can do this, I can say this, I can do this because I'm Robbie. That's what it sort of says to me. Yeah. But watching him do this song on stage, it was a perfect ending to the first half of that show. very flamboyant. He had super fun with this song.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, all the little movements and dance sort of
the pink
things
feather
that he
boa.
did. Yeah. And like motioning for up the Khyber Pass. Only Robbie could write a song about swinging both ways over like such beautiful orchestral music.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it sounds like a really classy sort of swing song, and then the lyrics start and you're like, it mentions dog do almost immediately. Like, what is this? Like, you have to expect the unexpected with Robbie, don't you?
Oh yeah.
And when you look up songs on lyric sites, normally there's a million songs with the same title. For this one, this is the only song called Swings Both Ways, which says it all, doesn't it? I just love that he's not afraid to be risque.
Yeah.
And also the fruitcake, the thing about getting high on fruitcake and tea, just the image of trying to get high on fruitcake and tea. Like, it's random. One of my favourite memories of this song, you haven't mentioned it, I thought you might have done that, but you didn't. He's obviously forgotten.
No, I
when
probably
we
haven't.
When we saw
it's
him
it's in here somewhere. You just need to trigger it again.
When we saw him in Birmingham on this tour, he did the line, and after I've done her, pointing at me, then you can do me, pointing at you.
Oh, okay, yeah. I had forgotten that.
Yeah, he would do that every night, wouldn't he? Pick out a couple in the front and sing those lines too. That was always a good moment, and I enjoyed it that we had our moment.
Very
for
flattering.
That.
Very flattering. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, and up the Khyber Pass, just for anyone who, I mean, obviously everyone knows what it means, sort of, but it basically is rhyming, Cockney rhyming slang, isn't it, for up the ass.
Very informative, Lucy, for our non-native English speaking audience. Yes, it is.
And also the line, if you want to get ahead in Tinseltown, which you could interpret two ways, like get ahead, or is it to do with getting sexual favours to progress your career in Hollywood?
She's going there, Zoe. She's going there. I mean, it's very informative as well.
Yeah, wow.
Getting ahead and getting ahead.
Yeah, I won't go into all the lyrics because there's far too many risque
It's
things.
clever though, isn't it? There are a lot of double entendres.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And also, when he performed this at the Palladium show with Rufus, and they had their pink outfits on, completely in pink, and they came out of the closets. Remember that?
Yes, yeah.
That was funny.
Did they change the lyrics for the Palladium show? Or
I think they might have done a bit, yeah.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, because it was shown on television,
BBC
wasn't
One.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they did. I can't remember. I would have to check that, watch
Very
that back.
possibly.
We did watch it, but I didn't notice. And I liked how they danced together, did like a slow dance together.
Yeah, very Morecambe and Wise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was good. And also, Guy and Rufus have gone on to write a few more songs together. He helped write the Heavy Entertainment Show song, which is on the HES album, Hotel Crazy and Sensational. So maybe there's some more to come. Maybe Rob's got some more in his computer somewhere.
Oh, I'd imagine so.
Because they're all good songs, aren't they? So
Yeah.
obviously write well together.
Yeah.
Should we go on to Dream a Little Dream?
Yeah. So the music was written by Wilbury Schwant and Fabienne Andre, with lyrics by Gus Kahn. This was a popular standard from 1931. There are more than 60 other versions, with one of the highest chart ratings by the Mamas and Papas in 1968, with Cass Elliot on vocals. It's been covered by Ella Fitzgerald, Louis Armstrong, Nat King Cole, Doris Day, Dean Martin, Erasure, and Michael Bublé. Released as a second single on the 15th of December 2013, it reached 16 in Belgium, 18 in Denmark. Rob initially wanted Emma Watson to sing with him. She came to the studio and told him she wanted to get a singing coach and felt she'd need to prove to Rob that she'd be good enough. She never committed in the end, so they had to give up on her.
And then Guy ran into Lily Allen at the Groucho Club in London. He was sat at the piano. She didn't realise who he was and said, "Give it your best shot." Guy suggested Dream a Little Dream to her. She asked him how he knew it was her favourite song. He said even though she was pissed, she sang it really well. Once she'd finished singing it, he told her who he was and asked if she'd like to sing it on Rob's new album. She said yes, but ask me again when I'm sober. Rob said, "A favourite song of everybody's. I know it from my dad's record collection when he left, and then from the Beautiful South covering it. It's probably one of the sweetest ditties ever written. I was lucky enough to bear the fruits of that fateful meeting between Guy and Lily. As soon as she opened her mouth in the studio, it was like, that's amazing."
Lily said, "Dream a Little Dream is one of my favourite songs of all time, so I didn't hesitate when Robbie asked me if I'd like to duet with him on it. I was a bit nervous when we recorded it, especially when I asked him what he wanted me to do, and he said something like, 'Just be you.' But I'm really happy with it and think we do justice to a classic song." Guy said on recording day in London to Lily, "Nice to see you sober, but it was nice to see you drunk too." Lily knew the song better than Rob and corrected him, then felt bad. Rob replied, "Don't apologise for being right, and don't apologise for me being lazy."
Zoe, do you like this cover version?
I actually do. Lily Allen actually has got an amazing voice, and the part that she plays in this song is just beautiful. Sort of the harmonies, the melodies. I just wish I could have actually seen them live singing together.
Yeah.
I think that would have been super special.
Didn't they
Although
do it at the
actually,
Palladium
I was just thinking, yes, I did see them, but more. I meant
you were at the
more,
Palladium.
more. Yeah. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen them maybe do that on tour, but I know that she can't. She couldn't do that, but yeah, I love Lily Allen anyway. I love her voice. I love her songs. So for me, it was a really good collaboration. The song in itself is a beautiful little song, isn't it? It's literally a dreamy song. I love it.
Yeah, Lily Allen's really talented, isn't she?
Oh yeah. And what do you think?
Yeah, I just think it's like really classy. It's great vocals from both of them. But there's Rob's version when it was released as a single, which has just got his vocals on it, and no Lily. And I like it, but I do prefer the version with Lily. I think it sounds better. I guess they couldn't have her on the single because she couldn't promote it with him. But when he sings it on his own, he's got like quite a nice deep tone on the bits that he's doing. But yeah, I'd prefer it with her. More whistling on this song.
Yeah, a bit more whistling, yeah.
Also, it's got piano by Dave Hartley, who joined them on stage at the Palladium. I don't know who he is particularly, but he seemed to be important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a good track to cover. And it's funny because she sang on Rude Box on a couple of songs with him. Was it The Actor? No.
I can't remember.
No, I can't remember.
Bongo?
Yeah,
but she did
sing that, did she?
Bongo Bong, I think, was it?
Did she? I didn't even know that she had, but when I think about that song, I think that, yeah.
So I just find it funny that they're sort of talking about her as if they've never come across her before and worked with her before, but, she did actually record with him before, which is quite weird. But mostly this song reminds me of Corey Haim, because there was that film 1989 Dream a Little Dream that he was in with Corey Feldman, and I used to watch that quite a lot because I had Corey Haim posters on my wall.
I did when I was growing up as well.
Yeah.
He was my little crush.
Yeah, when I was must have been 12, something like that.
Maybe a bit older.
Yeah, so this song just instantly always reminds me of him. And Robbie performed it on Text Santa with Anton Deck. Well, not with them, but it was a show hosted by them. And he's got that usual funny whistling moment on it where, you know, they play the soundtrack of him whistling,
the backing track,
and then he doesn't whistle, like fake whistle along with it, and then he pretends to joke that he did it, that he didn't know that was happening, but obviously it's always planned.
Oh yeah.
But it was quite a good moment. And actually they did sing it together, Lily and Robbie, at the Under One Roof charity gig at Hammersmith Apollo, which also featured Coldplay, Vizzle and Dynamo. And it was Lily Allen's slot, and Robbie came on as her guest.
Ah.
And you can find that on YouTube. They had a cute little dance, and Rob kissed her hand at the end, or during the instrumental bit. And so that's nice. You can watch that on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll put the link out for that. I think you two have said it all. I think it's a great duet. Their voices sound really great together. It's a beautiful and classic song. Originally sang by Doris Day and, as we said, and many others. I think it provides quite a nice contrast from the previous sort of Swings Both Ways song, you know.
Yeah.
You go from like a comic parody, crazy, bizarre song to a really beautiful ballad. And I think it works quite well in the flow of the album.
And then there was the video. I don't know if you remember the video, Zoe. But it was directed by Chris Sweeney, who also directed TV shows like The Tourist and Liar recently on telly. And he'd also done videos by Lily Allen, Lana Del Rey, Sophie Ellis-Bextor and Cheryl. And Robbie sings the song while presenting a Christmas show in the style of the Dean Martin show, with a vintage 60s, 70s feel.
Mm-hmm.
I remember now.
Yeah, it's funny. It's definitely got that 60s, 70s feel about it, but I think he does it really well. And he's got some good little acting bits in there, hasn't he?
Yeah. It reminds me of when I was growing up and, like, you know, with the three or four TV channels we had. 3 to begin, or maybe 2 to begin with. You know, we used to see the like Bewitched and sort of, you know, US TV shows, and they were always like clearly on a set and really cheesy, and it reminded me of that. I love the style of it, and then that amusing entrance at the beginning where he just goes down a fireman's pole randomly. And then I love the fact that Guy's in it as well.
Guy's face
looking a little bit uncomfortable at points.
I think he's just purposely looking unimpressed.
I think he is, but yeah, it's just funny. And then Rob looks rather happy when he's surrounded by women at one point. And then he's hosting a Christmas party. And then I love the bit at the end. Who is your favourite singer? And the girl says, Gary Barlow. I thought that was quite a nice nod to Gary there.
It's a standard joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a perfect Christmas video, that one, isn't it? But it's a shame that the song didn't actually do that well over Christmas, because, you know, it is a perfect Christmas song, really, and it had a great Christmas video, but didn't really chart. Did you like it, Zoe?
I do remember the video.
But you can't remember it enough.
Yeah, I remember it being, in my view, it's sort of very Robbie, very, again, still like very tongue-in-cheek, very... sort of taking the mick a bit out of the situations you've already described. I think I also remember, if I'm right in thinking, that he used some Robbie fans as extras for this.
Yes.
Yeah. Not me, unfortunately. But so I do remember the video, because I remember looking at it thinking, oh, is there anybody I know on there?
Yeah.
But
I didn't know that until recently.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, it was a shame it didn't do as well as it probably should have done, and it's again a shame that Lily didn't do it with him, and I think it might have gone a bit further had she.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that was odd that she wasn't on there. Yeah,
I guess he had the Christmas #1 album. I guess people were just buying the album.
Yeah,
don't really need to buy a single.
No, you don't.
It's on there.
Not anymore, anyway.
No, so.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So, next song, Soda Pop.
Soda Pop, yeah. Written by Rob, brothers Danny, Calvin and Rich, as well as Scott Ralph, while they were at a ranch at Trout Lake, Washington in August 2008. Rob said, Soda Pop was written at a ranch just outside Seattle. Whilst there, me and my friends Richard and Scott from Stoke wrote some songs, including this. I was lucky enough to get Michael Bublé to sing on it with me. I've got a kind of fanboyish appreciation for Michael. We're of a similar age doing a similar sort of thing, and normally I can't stand people who are my age doing a similar sort of thing. I get very competitive. But Michael Bublé is like something from a time capsule. He keeps the flame alive for me, that the glamour and the promise and the naivety and the sass of the 50s.
It's a 1950s rockabilly kind of swingy thing, and it's bonkers, and Michael came in and was like, I haven't a clue what you're on about. And I was like, cool, let's just sing it anyway. He swung his socks off and impressed everybody. Michael said, I don't think there's anyone in my life at this point who I could relate to the way I could with Robbie. We're around the same age, we've gone through a lot of the same things. He's just become a dad, I'm just about to. We both have problems, we both probably go too far with things we do. He just talks about it more than I do. He told The Sun, it's catchy and fun, neo-swing. One of the lyrics is Soda Pop, Yoda what? Robbie wrote it when looking at UFOs. Recorded at Capitol Records in LA using Nat King Cole's old mic, they kept chatting during recording and had to be interrupted to ask to sing. Al Schmidt said, do these guys know they're here to make a record? You want to go first, Matt? Or Zoe?
Okay. I do quite like this song. It's so upbeat. It's like, yes, and you can get up and you have a dance to this. And actually, every time I hear this song, I think of Tasha, because it's one of her favourite songs. So again, like when you say that the songs give you a memory instantly, when I hear this song, I see her. This was the opener for the second part of the Swings Both Ways show, and it did, like, it was like all of a sudden they changed the scenery to
make it look like a boat.
And they all the dancers came out, and that is the song. It's just like, it's a big like spray of confetti. That's the best way I can describe it. It really is. And it's, I just love this song. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
I just wondered why they want to sell Soda Pop.
Well, I
I'll
think
show up.
That's true.
It's because they say life hands you lemons, then sell lemonade. It's the choice we made. And then, so I think that's why it then says, I guess I'm going to sell a soda pop, because they're selling lemonade because life gave them lemons. That's what I take from it.
Thank you. I think you're right. I think that's why they want to sell soda pop. Makes sense. Like this lemonade didn't sound quite as good on the song. I want to sell lemonade. It doesn't sound as good, does it?
No, it doesn't.
The intro actually sounds a little bit similar to Want to Be Like You.
And that's what I wrote as well.
Oh, we didn't compare notes beforehand. Yeah, isn't it strange how it's very similar? Hope they didn't copy it.
I know, we don't want to get them in trouble.
Inspired. Notice that the line "swings both ways" gets into this song as well.
Yeah, and they wrote this in 2008. Yeah. So that's probably why he had that in his head already, that line.
They want to know about the clothes we wear if we swing both ways, but who stays there? And I love the way, we already mentioned, I love the way that Yoda is rhymed with soda. Of course, you have to rhyme, and that's about the only word that you can find to rhyme with soda, probably. The most intriguing verse of the whole song for me is this one. It makes me chuckle. Go USA or Taliban chic. If you've got massive hands or tiny feet, life hands you lemons, then sell lemonade. It's the choice we made. So yeah, you're right. The actual why was in there, but I don't know. It's just the weirdness of having USA and Taliban and massive hands, tiny feet.
Yeah, I don't get that bit.
Just random. It's funny.
A lot of his lyrics are random, though, aren't
Oh,
they? Yeah.
Yeah. I always admire them
Where's
when
that
they
come from?
But that's what makes it fun,
Love
isn't it? Yeah, it's a great fun chorus. It makes you want to move. I love the beat. As you said, like literally, if you play the start of "I Want to Be Like You" and "Soda Pop" next to each other, it's like the same, but not quite the same. They're different enough. And I wondered whether it was always going to be a swing song. Like when they wrote it on that ranch, was it a swing style, or did it perhaps start out as like a sort of pop or rockier type song, and then they turned it into a swing song? You know, who knows? I just feel like it could be turned into a pop type song. You know?
I think with this album, a lot of the songs sort of, although it's classed as swing, it is sort of very on the verge of pop, which I think is why I like this album more than the actual swing one. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Another line that I like is, "We're the love brigade that sings serenades, flying in G6 jets over woodland glades. These are canapes and not hand grenades, and that's the choice we made." It's just like...
It sounds as though that might be quite hard to sing.
But he has no problem with it, does he?
No.
And then, because it says, "How can you resist us? We are the business." I kind of think that's about them being pop stars, and that's the role that they've been given. The lemons that they've been given is their talent.
Oh, yeah.
For being pop stars, and so that's what they've got to do because that's what they've been given. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get meaning out of the song.
Pretty reasonably decent lemons, though, aren't they? I mean, to get that. Normally, it's like when life deals you lemons, make lemonade. It's sort of, something not so good's happened, but they're playing on it. Yeah, it's good.
And also, we're not scabs.
Yeah.
I'd love to meet Rich and Scott and actually see what they're like as people, because they've come up with these crazy songs with Rob over the years. It'd be fascinating to talk to them. Also, I noted that Gary Barlow got Michael involved when he did a swing album in 2020 as well. It's like, you do swing, you have to get Michael on your album.
There are some that say that Michael has Robbie to thank for a lot of his success.
Well, that is what I was about to say.
Oh, well, sorry, you better say that.
No, yeah. Actually, Michael's success only came after Robbie had done his swing album. And so I think that the appetite for swing arrived because of Robbie's success, and therefore Michael has got Robbie to thank for creating the demand for his own career.
Yeah.
That's probably why he agreed to come on this album.
Good.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I think you're right.
Okay, so the next song is Snowblind. Written by Rob and Guy while on tour in Australasia in 2002, in the book Feel, Rob said, "I've never really written any love songs. In fact, I haven't written any love songs. One, but it's not out, Snowblind." At the time of release, he said, "Written with Guy some years ago, it's always been my thought that it would be on the next swing album. I'd had many, many dates with many, many people, and I wanted to be in love, and I wanted to be in a relationship, but also I couldn't keep it in my pants. So along the way, there were some people I was fond of who fell by the wayside because I couldn't get it together to commit. The song is saying to someone, you're so full as a person that I'm overpowered by it, and I'm not going to be here long because of it. This is the original vocal from when we wrote the song.
It's from a period of my life when I wanted to be in love, but I didn't. I knew that I wouldn't be able to do the monogamy thing that was expected of me, and I expect it of me too. It caused a lot of relationships to end very quickly and abruptly. You know, I'm going to hurt this person, so I'm out of here. There was a certain pain attached to that, knowing that I wanted to be in love and everything that comes with it, but also knowing that as a 27-year-old pop star going around the world, meeting girls and doing what a 27-year-old pop star I think should do. So, hey ho, pain. I'll put it in a song and hop to the next bed. But Snowblind is about that period and that pain.
Zoe, do you want to go
Zoe,
first?
yeah.
I don't know too much into this song, so I always thought it was written about Ida.
Ah.
So it's like where he says about so wonderful, feeling vulnerable. You'll never know what you did to me. So I always thought though that the lyrics, were sort
her,
of talking
Well,
about
it would make
her.
sense because of when it was released that it would have been about her. But I guess because he wrote it earlier, that's why we know it wasn't. But do you like the song?
Yeah, it's lovely. It is like, I just feel like there's pure love sort of falling out of this song.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Matt?
Well, I really enjoyed sitting down and listening to this song and appreciating the lyrics, actually. Just what an incredible song, super powerful, and the style reminds me of the kinds of songs that are in the film Greatest Showman. I mean, the opening verse, just, I'm snowblind looking at you, let me melt a while in your company, I unwind in your rapture, I'm an overture to your symphony. I mean, Rob's smooth vocal on the track as well is just remarkable. And you can just tell this is a Williams-Chambers collaboration. It's just a superb song. I was a little bit annoyed that I didn't get it. No, I did get it on the Robbie Williams Rewind Hurdle. This will be obviously completely out of date by the time this show goes out. But yeah, it was Snowblind, and I'd put Super Blind in. But Lucy kind of knew that I meant Snowblind. Of course, she knows the answers, and I was like, she's like, you do know it. I
was like, you're so close.
And it was Snowblind. Yes.
Yeah, I just think it's an understated and simple yet stunning song. Am I Still Impossible to Read? I think he said he was often like this in relationships in the old days. He sort of wouldn't open up to people. People couldn't read him because he just wouldn't open up to them. And I was just talking about my work in progress. I'm so far away from where I want to be. You stole my heart, but my madness is taking the man right out of me. I complicate so easily. I'm hiding behind my eyes. You could have meant the world to me. I was trying to think who it could have been about, and obviously we have no idea, but
might not be one person.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I did wonder if maybe like Jerry Halliwell or something. Was he going out with her around that time? No, that was before, so it wasn't her. We don't know. We'll never know. But it's just beautiful, and it just sounds stunning. That's my word for it. And also, it's interesting that it's the original vocal from 2002, and they didn't bother to re-record it.
Yeah.
I guess they felt that it was perfect as it was. It kind of does sound a bit younger in it, I think, when you know that fact and you listen to it. I think you become aware of it then. Yeah, I feel like this song was written to someone in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you? Like you say, you thought it was about Ida, because it really feels like it's to one person, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll probably never know.
No, we won't. But I'm very pleased that it finally made it onto an album, considering it had been hidden away for 11 years.
Wow.
So thanks to Guy as well for writing the beautiful song. Yeah. And I don't think it needed to wait for a swing album. I think it could have appeared on any album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really a swing song, really, is it?
I agree.
No, could have been on anything. So shall we move on to Puttin On The Ritz?
Yeah.
Written by Irving Berlin in 1927, this appeared on the film Puttin On The Ritz in 1930, introduced by Harry Richman. Apparently it was the first song to be sung by an interracial ensemble. The title comes from the slang expression to put on the Ritz, meaning to dress very fashionably, inspired by the Ritz Hotel in London.
Rob said, I think if you distilled what a swing album should be, it would sound like Putting on the Ritz. But I think I heard it for the first time in the Mel Brooks film Young Frankenstein. It used to make me laugh as a kid, and I knew that it made my dad laugh. I later learned that the original wasn't sung by a man in a Frankenstein outfit. Famously, Fred Astaire, who I think recorded the definitive version, once went for an audition and they said, "Can't act, can't sing, can dance a bit." Similar accusations have been levelled against me too, so I just tried to sing it at least as well as Fred Astaire.
My dad used to imitate Frankenstein, so the song stuck in my heart. I remember Fred Astaire's films from the reruns on the TV when I was a kid. Another reason for me falling in love with the genre is sitting on the sofa at my nan's, eating donuts, watching these legends. I've had the pleasure of performing it live, and it has a life of its own once an audience is in the house. So Zoe, what did you think about Puttin On The Ritz?
We all know that Robbie loves swing, and I think this is the sort of epitome of swing in this album. This is like the top swing song. It's it suits his voice, it suits him. You can tell he's just enjoyed doing this song. I quite like the song myself. Not being a great fan of swing, but when Robbie does swing, he puts his little sprinkle of Robbie in it, doesn't he? So
yeah.
Oh yeah. Lucy?
Well, yeah, I really love that he covered it because it is a classic swing song, so it felt right that it was on the album. And it was great on tour because it had all the dancers doing the sort of tap dancing and stuff. It just looked like a real spectacle. I love how the vocal goes like up and down in quick succession. Like if you're blue and you don't know where to go, why don't you go? Those bits. It kind of goes up and down. It's got a really nice feel to the song, and you can just picture people dancing in the 30s to this song, can't you? Like the way they used to dance back then, like, and you can just imagine them all having a great time to this song. And Fred Astaire's version seemed to be a bit slower when he was singing it, and then it sped up when he was doing tap dancing.
All right.
So Rob sort of seems to have covered it in like the sped up version. I do have a misheard lyric on this song. So, it says, "Every Thursday evening with her swell bows."
Yeah.
I thought it was swell bows, like, because it made no sense whatsoever, but because the next line is rubbing elbows, in my head it was elbows as well, and it was just swell bows. It just made I never understood that line until I read the lyrics, and it's actually swell bows, like Beaus, as in like lovers, or I don't know, your other half. Anyway, that's my random misheard lyric.
How's your swell bow doing now?
Yeah, my swelled up elbows.
Yeah.
Good, thanks.
Good.
And he sung this on the Strictly final, and they had the dancers dancing around him.
Yeah.
And normally, because I don't watch Strictly, normally when they have a guest on there that I want to watch, I get really annoyed when they keep cutting away to the dancers.
Why have dancers on a dancing show? I mean,
know.
come on.
But for this song, I have to agree that cutting away to the dancers is a good thing, because it's really fitting for the song, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when he sung it on tour, he'd do his best, like Norman Wisdom style fake tap dancing in the background, wouldn't he, while all the dancers
Is that like the one where he's got the stick and he's sort of bouncing it on the floor, and it's just very Robbie. Yeah.
Yeah, it was made me laugh. He does a good job of well, I don't know, taking the mick out of the dancing, but actually doing it really well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Owning it.
Yeah. Matt?
I think I put the word effervescent. Robbie's effervescent energy just flows through this song. I mean, it's just, you can really tell that he enjoys singing it, and his vocal is just quite something in it. And I think this is a song that he's been singing all his life. I think I can safely say that. Well, he said, he used to listen to this kind of music, and he listened to it obviously in Mel Brooks' film Young Frankenstein, which is where he thought it was from. So he's got some real memories, real childhood memories, and his dad's attached to it. So There's just a ton of emotion in it. But again, it's one of those songs which you really have to see all the razzmatazz live. I mean, the costumes, the dancing, the overall stage routine, all makes it. It's kind of nice to listen to, but yeah, I have to sort of visualize all that going on the stage, like you say, him playing the clown and dancing girls, and it's a great song.
Yeah. So before we move on to just talking about some of the gigs that Robbie did for this album for promo, we'll just say that we will talk about the rest of the songs off the album in our next episode with Jocelyn from America, because there's too many to cover in one album. I think it's like 16 or 17 songs all on the one album when you look at the deluxe. So we've split it into two. The live at the Palladium, obviously Robbie, he did the show on the 8th of November 2013, and it was aired on BBC One on the 6th of December. The One Night at the Palladium DVD came out on the 9th of December. It was directed by Chris Howe and included a 30-piece orchestra arranged and conducted by Steve Sidwell. Scenes with the Muppets were mixed between the performances, including singing Something Stupid with Miss Piggy, Statler and Waldorf in the Royal Box, Kermit as director, and fun scenes with Fozzie and Gonzo. Rob described this as the oddest bit of Starstruck I've ever had.
It was done very well. He sung Dream a Little Dream with Lily and Swing Both Ways with Rufus. Among the invited guests watching in the audience were Adele, Alan Carr, Liam Payne, David Seaman, Helena Bonham Carter, Rob's mum, and Ida. He sung Do Nothing Till You Hear From Me with his dad. Guy said in the documentary on the DVD that Rob was very hands-on, coming to rehearsals every day, wanting to be involved with how everything sounded and looked. He said he'd been very hands-off in the early days. Rob said he was going to try and entertain people with whatever meagre talents he had.
And the Guardian review said, to say that the show tends towards camp is to run the risk of understatement, something that clearly has no place in a show that at one juncture features Rufus Wainwright bursting out of a glittery closet wearing a pink lame suit and matching top hat while singing Robbie, You're a Little Bit Gay. It's all riotously entertaining, although you do find yourself wondering how much of the actual album you could stand to listen to without the accompanying visual extravaganza. But if nothing else, it all seems like evidence of a newfound contentment on Williams' part. At the height of his fame, he always seemed oddly dissatisfied. It was hard to avoid the feeling that despite the millions of records he sold, what he really wanted was critical approval, a certain cachet, and that he was stung by the suggestion that there was something of the end of the pier about him. A decade on, he doesn't seem to be embracing the end of the pier so much as being fired from it out of a cannon in a hail of glittery confetti. And how funny that they said about confetti when you said that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the whole thing there.
Yeah. So me and you, we both went to that show, didn't we? I remember meeting you there.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to get tickets.
Yeah, they were like gold dust. They really were.
They were.
So lucky. And it was the first show I've been to where you didn't wait in a queue for however long then it was. Yeah. And, you got dressed up and, I remember wearing a nice, proper long dress and, it was just amazing. What an amazing show. And I remember you saying about the Muppets, because obviously we were on the top tier of the Palladium, and we were fortunate we had the first row of the of that balcony, so we could see what was happening below us. And I remember sort of seeing people, Alan Carr, Lily Allen, and the big ones, the Waldorf, and I can't remember the other one. What was the other one's name? Yeah, Waldorf and Statler in the box. But I didn't want to see too much because you don't want
the magic,
the little the magic going. And so I remember him having Miss Piggy sat on his knee. It was a really, it was just amazing. It's one of those experiences that will probably never be repeated. just so lucky to get those tickets and to spend again time with people that that are really special. So
Yeah. I was really trying to get tickets for me and my friend Laura, but unfortunately I couldn't. And I thought I was trying to get 2 and nothing was coming up. And I just thought, I'll try and get 2 single tickets. And so then I managed to get 1 single ticket. And then, of course, I couldn't get another single ticket. And so I went on my own. And I felt so bad. Sorry, Laura. I still feel bad.
Didn't feel bad that I didn't go.
No. You at the time, I don't think you were that. I think you were like, oh, it's swing. I'm not sure.
Oh,
yeah.
You probably said that.
Well, after seeing the show, I wish I'd been there.
Yeah.
And it was amazing with the Muppets and everything.
Yeah, it was. Well, we didn't know the Muppets were going to be there. That was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It really was.
But we didn't actually get to see Kermit the Frog, did we? I don't think.
Most of his stuff was off
I
stage.
was going to say, I don't remember seeing Kermit the Frog at all.
No, we didn't.
I don't remember.
He was the director.
Yeah.
The director doesn't come on stage.
Yeah, but I was so happy to see Miss Piggy.
Yes. Yeah.
She kept her temper then, obviously, on stage, just about.
Yeah,
Just
it was
about.
funny.
Yeah.
But luckily, I was fortunate enough that when I sat in my seat, I knew 2 of the girls who were sat in the row in front of me, so I kind of knew them to speak to. Oh, also, I liked that he knew that all us guys at the top had paid for our tickets versus being invited at the bottom. So he did sing to us a lot at the top, didn't he?
He did, and you can see that when you watch the DVD back, you can see where his eyes are going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were the ones that were giving it the atmosphere, really, weren't we?
Absolutely.
The people all down
definitely.
at the bottom were just sort of sat there.
For a lot of it, they were just sat there, yeah.
Yeah. They should have had us at the bottom, shouldn't
They
they?
really should, and should have had the but I suppose we don't look as good as those
No.
celebrities, and although I think I looked better than some of them. Oh, funny.
And it made me laugh when we watched it back. When he was singing Mr. Bojangles, someone in the audience screamed, obviously someone from the top tier, and he said, "There's been a murder." Spontaneity always wins. And do you remember when he did Go Gentle and he came out on that sort of crane type thing?
Yeah. So he wasn't far off
that.
where we were. It was sort of like the closest that we got to him the whole night.
Yeah. And I think that they had to do that twice, didn't they? I feel like there was one song that they did twice, and I feel like it might have been that one.
You might be right, actually.
I feel like something went wrong with the crane and the cameras or something, so they had to redo it. Which we didn't mind, obviously.
No.
Yeah, because I think on the TV version, they tried to not let you see the crane.
No, you couldn't
you
see
basically saw the shot of him with the audience behind him, and then obviously as he moved around, but you didn't really see the clunky crane in the room on the stage.
No, you didn't.
You obviously did, but
we did, yeah. And it was his first performance of Creep, slowed down as well.
I was going to say that's the first time I've ever heard it live.
Yeah.
I love
it.
his version of that.
I do, because he sung that in Vegas.
I love his version and the original version.
I prefer Robbie's version.
Oh, well.
But I'm not really a Radiohead fan.
I was back in the day. I'm not sure I didn't really carry on with them, but good song.
Yeah. And he sat on Liam Payne's lap at one point in the audience. He went into the crowd and sat on Liam's lap.
I really need to go back and rewatch this.
He dedicated a song to him.
All these missing gems.
Yeah, it was fun watching it back. And remember, he came out with those monkeys on sticks. How do you describe it?
Well, they were full human-sized puppets, monkeys that were on poles that went across his shoulder.
And his back
I remember something
knees.
on his shoulder.
And every time he moved, it was connected to basically his knees, arms, shoulders. And every time he moved, they did the same moves. It was very clever.
So it looked like 2 monkeys were doing the exact movements that he was doing.
Like a trio all stood together doing a synchronized dance, but it was just him. It's very, very clever.
Yeah, it was fun. And then also our friend Jocelyn, who's on the next episode, was actually on stage with Robbie as one of the extras in Fat Pop Star. So that is why she's on our next episode, because that's a song we'll be talking about Fat Pop Star in. And so she's going to tell us all about what it was like to...
Yeah, we'll ask her all about that.
Yeah.
It was very exciting knowing her and seeing her on the stage. I don't know if I watched her more than I watched Robbie when we were there, because it was so amazing to know that she was there and that she was doing this. So, from somebody on the flip side, I was just so happy for her. And again, when I've watched it back, it's like, oh, there's Jocelyn, there's Jay.
She's centre stage.
She was centre stage.
Centre stage, yeah. Great.
And she really did play the part.
Yeah, yes. She did it really well.
She did.
Hello, Jocelyn. If you're listening.
Yes.
Looking forward to having you on next episode.
We'll find out more about that.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So moving on, he also did a couple of other gigs before the tour. He did Children in Need Rocks.
And the Heart gigs, yeah.
Yeah.
So Rob appeared at Children in Need Rocks on the 12th of November at Hammersmith Apollo. Organised by Gary Barlow for the third and final time, Rob sang Shine My Shoes and Go Gentle. He also appeared with Barry Manilow and Gary for a special performance of Could It Be Magic. That's worth checking out on YouTube if you haven't already seen it. And
it was amazing.
What a performance that is.
Yeah. Did you go to that?
I did, yes. Yeah.
Oh, you were there.
You were there.
Yeah, I was there. But again, it wasn't expected. You knew that Gary was there because he sang with, was it Agnetha from ABBA?
Yes, that's right.
So you knew that he was there. So the hope's always there when you know other people are like a member of Take That's Around. The hope's always that they're going to come and do something, but it's never a given. So, but with Barry Manilow as well, that was just super special.
Yeah. Oh, how lucky that you saw that.
Yeah.
Barry Manilow was so showbiz on that stage. I mean, he was just rocking it. It was so Vegas and so, it was brilliant. It's just brilliant. It must have been great to be there.
Yeah.
One of my favourite parts of that show, not Robbie related, was when Jeff Lynne came out as a surprise guest and did Mr. Blue Sky, because that is one of my most favourite songs. So that was like, the whole night was amazing. But and obviously was there to see Robbie, but that was special as well.
I love that song as well.
Yeah.
It's such a feel-good song. I often stick that on and listen to it. It's a really great song. I think I've mentioned it on the podcast before as well, haven't I? There was a song of Robbie's that reminded me of Mr. Blue Sky. I can't remember what it is now, but I'm with you on that one. I think Rob could sing that song, couldn't he?
Yeah, he should do. But although it's a very long song that sounds like it's finished, then it continues.
Yes.
Yeah. He cut it short.
Yeah.
And he did a competition winners gig for Heart Radio on the 19th of November at Chelsea's Under the Bridge. He did a duet with Heart DJ and Spice Girl Emma Bunton on Dream a Little Dream, introducing it as two of the finest people to survive the 90s.
I actually spent a fortune, like an absolute fortune, on phone calls trying to get tickets to that Heart gig. For 2 weeks, I think it was. It ran, I don't know, every show during the day on Heart, and I never won, and I was gutted.
I didn't even apply for that one because I had my hysterectomy on the same day.
Oh, my God, okay.
So, so I knew that I was going into hospital, but I remember everybody frantically, desperately calling through to get tickets for that. But that particular one was a no for me.
Yeah.
But I did get my album come through the post on the morning of my operation, so that kept me going before I went to the hospital.
Oh, that's nice.
Right.
Silly memories.
These things stick in your head.
Yeah.
But then he did do another another intimate concert for Magic Radio, which was on the 10th of December at an old church in London LSO St. Luke's, which is near Old Street. And it kind of seemed to be the Magic FM's Christmas party as well. And I was very fortunate that our friends Alan and Sarah from the last episode, took me as their +1 to that. So, because they managed to both win tickets, so they each took a +1. I was very lucky to go to that one. I don't think you were there at that one though, Zoe.
I did, yeah.
You did, even though you just had a hysterectomy.
So I remember trying before I went, because it was obviously afterwards. I remember trying before going into hospital and desperately trying to get the tickets. And then maybe it was just as I came out of hospital, they were running that competition. I was desperately trying to get the tickets. I didn't get any. I remember Kat got tickets. I think Hayley got tickets. Quite a lot of the others. So there was just myself and Karen who didn't have a ticket. And then the competition ended. And I was, bear in mind, I was very hormonal. I was really upset about it. I remember being in bed one morning and then getting text messages. And Kat rang me. She's like, the competition's back on Magic. Just go. So I came downstairs. The only way I could listen to Magic was through my television. So I put the television on, waited for the cue to call, and I rang. And it rang, and then they answered the phone. So I was like, oh my God. And it was one of those where you weren't guaranteed to get through. So they answered. I think they had a number of people on hold.
Yeah.
So you never knew whether you got through. But I remember sitting there going, oh, come on, pick me. Come on. And they can, I know I won another competition with them. So I know that they can actually hear what you're saying.
Oh.
But I didn't know then. And I'm like, come on. So then when they sort of said, we got Zoe Hankey on from Stokie Zoe, I was like, oh my God. And you had to, you were pitted between yourself and somebody else. And the other person was Annika Giles, who I was on against.
Oh.
So,
So you knew her. That made it more awkward.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a best of 3. And I sort of like, I don't even know how I did it. I just like, and I still got the recording of this on my phone. It's so cringe. But so I got the 2 questions and I won basically. So I'm going, Karen, we're going to see Robbie.
Yay.
And the presenter, I know who the presenter was, but I'm not going to say the name. The presenter at the time, he was like, is that your mate in the background? I was like, no, but she's listening. And then he starts talking to me, and I burst out crying because obviously I was a little bit emotional, hormonal, but in my head I wasn't going to this gig. Yeah. Everybody, all my other friends were, but I wasn't going. So this was a massive thing for me. And yeah, I remember going and the champagne and the food and. I don't drink champagne. I don't drink a lot, and I had a lot of champagne that night.
Yeah, just for listeners, they were giving it to us for free. Yeah, free food.
But
and
it was free food. Never had that at a gig before.
Yeah,
it was such a good atmosphere. It was so chilled out, and although Robbie had that awful grey stripe in his hair, it was. It was still amazing. It was just magic. It really was magic. It was the first time I'd ever been to an intimate gig, and I've been very, very lucky. I've been to a few. I've won a few competitions. I've been to a few intimate gigs, but that was the first one, and it was super, super special. Like I say, and it also had that Christmas vibe as well, because like you say, remember, I still actually got upstairs in my drawer. You got a little bauble.
Yeah. I put ours on the tree every year. I think you said to me once, what is this bauble? Why do you have to keep putting this one up? Yes, it goes on my tree every year.
Yeah, it reminds me of the time I didn't go.
I know. Yeah, I was very fortunate that the reason that Alan and Sarah let me go with them as their +1 was because for the heart competition previously, I'd been messaging Sarah every time the lines opened for that competition. I'd message her, and she would be able to enter for the heart one as well, because she was working, but I was at home with the kids, and so I could listen to the radio. So because I'd helped her to try and win the heart competition, she took us to the Magic one, and that was very special. And also for me, that was my first intimate concert as well. Well, I guess since the 90s at Southampton maybe, but the first time I was really close to him. The barrier was so close to the stage.
So it really was, wasn't it? It was like almost within touching distance.
Yeah.
So you literally could have leaned over and touched him.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have wanted to do that. You probably got kicked out.
Yeah. I remember he got that Robbie tribute up on stage to sing.
Yeah, and
with him.
sang. Can't remember what he sang.
Did they
with
do
him,
Dream a Little Dream? Maybe I can't remember.
I think was his name Scott
Yeah,
or
it
something
was
like
Scott.
that.
Yeah,
I don't know where I pulled that out of my brain.
it was. I took a video of them. I can share that on socials. I just videoed it for him at the time. And he also sang "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas."
Yeah,
he did. That was nice.
He sang "If I Only Had a Brain" because I remember Kelly Dugan. She absolutely loves that song.
Yeah.
Again, that's one of those things. I hear that song, I think of Kelly, and it was her around about her birthday. So I think he dedicated that to her.
Aww.
So but yeah, it was just great memories. And I think some people were lucky and they got to see him out back beforehand. I'd gone and got changed.
I missed that as well. I was around the front in the queue like a good girl, wondering where everyone else had gone. And then they all came back and joined the queue and were like, "Oh, we just met Robbie around the back." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I was just sat in the queue." Yeah. It's
a good one.
Good memories.
Cool. What a nice experience.
Yeah.
So we've nearly reached the end of the show. So it's time for us to each pick our favourite track from this episode. And so in our usual tradition, Zoe, as our guest, you are invited to choose first, if you'd like to. What might you want to choose?
Go Gentle, definitely. It's one of the nicest. One of the nicest songs that he's actually produced. Full stop.
Yeah.
So it's probably got to be for me the best one on that. On that album.
Yeah.
Perfect choice. And Lucy?
Well, clearly my choice would also have been Go Gentle. Because it
so
is
we
the
all
best
think
song.
alike there.
It is the best song on the album.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to pick another one, I think I probably...
You're not going to pick my number 2, are
No,
you?
I'm not. It'd probably be between Swings Both Ways and Shine My Shoes.
Ah.
So what should I go with?
How do you make a decision?
Yeah, how? I think I'll go Swings Both Ways because it's definitely unique and it's very Robbie-esque with the lyrics, with the risqueness of it, and there's no song like it in the world.
Yes. That's true.
Not that I know of, anyway.
So I am going to choose Swing Supreme.
Oh.
Even though I like the original better, because Zoe chose Go Gentle and you want to Go Gentle, Swing Supreme would be my next favourite, I think.
Why is that?
I just love the song. It's just great lyrics, lovely arrangement. Yeah.
Good job, well done, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Cool.
3 good choices there to go on our playlist.
Yeah, you can find that on the links to the playlist on our website.
Yeah.
Also, a little shout out to a couple of people that have given us reviews recently. Although by the time this comes out, maybe we'll have had more. But,
Oh, you never know.
thanks to Ben and Michelle for putting some reviews up on Apple UK.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, Jocelyn, she wrote one for American. Because on Apple, weirdly, you can only see reviews from the country that you're in. Isn't that weird for a global podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that a bit strange, really. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
And we got lots of 5-star ratings on there as well, which is very nice. So thank you for
thank
those.
you. Thank
Whoever's
you,
been
listeners.
clicking the stars. We appreciate that. So, just before we wrap up this episode, make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out. And also, Lucy and I would really appreciate it if you can leave us a star rating. You can do this on both Apple and Spotify podcasts. We would also love it if you could write us a short review, and you can do this on Apple. Don't forget, You can check out our episode notes for each episode and links to all tracks and videos at robbiewilliamsrewind.com. You can also email us at email@robbiewilliamsrewind.com. Please also follow and chat on our social channels. It's at RewindRobbie on Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. And you can also like and follow our Facebook page, Robbie Williams Rewind. And before we return to this episode, you might also consider sending us one of your own Robbie stories for the show. Just record a short audio clip on your phone and email it to us. Please check the website for more details. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
Right, so yeah, everyone, thanks for listening. If you tune into the next episode, as we said, we're going to have Jocelyn from America because she was on stage for No One Likes a Fat Pop Star, and there's no better story than that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't want to miss that.
So there we go. Thank you, Zoe, for joining us on this nice, warm, sunny afternoon. We're sat inside recording a podcast. We really appreciate you coming on, and I believe we're going to see you in Stoke. Is that right?
I think you might do.
Yeah, it's just down the road, you know.
I really hope so.
Looking forward to seeing you in real life at Stoke and everybody else
me
who's going to
too.
be there. And thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
And telling us your story.
Thanks for having me.
That's all right.
It's been joy. Thank you.
Good. All right, take care. We'll
see you soon. See you in Stoke.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Robbie Williams Rewind.